What's up, everybody? Long time no see for the Money Shots crew. So happy that we're all back together. Kelly, it feels like, it's been years since we've seen each other. Che, also haven't seen you in probably a year, like literally. But hasn't, seen you a couple of times on Pick Central. But how are we doing? Kelly, how are you been? How are you? We just talked about your dad. He's doing well, hopefully. How's everything else going in Florida or Vegas, wherever you're at?
Yeah, I'm in Florida right now. He's doing okay, Megan. I was trying to explain something to you, and I mentioned the word eyeball, and you were like, absolutely not. Done. Don't want to hear any more about it. But he's doing good. Spirits are good. Hopefully they got all the cancer, and he's going to be okay. But I just retweeted the show, and I'm really glad we took a little bit of a hiatus because I was like ice cold. Ice cold. And it's been a really good, basically since Saturday, went 6-2, took Sunday off, avoided a couple losers. And it's been a nice little streak, went 3-0. Last night, I've got 5 potentials for tonight. So just hopefully, now that Money Shots is back, we just keep riding that wave. I really enjoy this upward trajectory of winning because it just feels so good. It's that it's coming downward, and you go like 1-2, and then you go 0-2. Like that is like the worst feeling. So right now, I'm just riding the wave. I'm in a great mood.
I hear you. If Xavier would have made their free throws, that's available over in the Barstool Sports Store, I would have hit a nice little plus 620 parlay. Would have been 2-1 on my parlays, the boosted parlays for the college basketball season. Unfortunately, Xavier did not hit their free throws, but I had Oklahoma State, which I know Kelly was one of your bets, win like by 20. And NC State wasn't the other one I had on there.
Pittsburgh, the one I pushed out
outright, one right outright.
I literally said on Twitter, I was like, all right, Megan, handshake. And the reason why I didn't give out Xavier, which I'm very glad I didn't, is because Providence is on my do not bet against list. We'll go over this here in a minute so you guys know why I'm on a couple games.
Bynum is an absolute fucking freak, and I know he's not that big, but I wouldn't be surprised if not to see him play in the NBA. The way he controls the ball, the way he controls the pace, the way that he is able to manipulate his body to make shots and then also get and one, it's just absolutely insane. But Che, you've been quiet for too long. How are you doing? As I mentioned before the show, Francis called you out in a good way to Erica, saying that he could, he's been following your bets and you've just been hot as shit, and she almost didn't believe it for a second. But we here know that it's true. How did you do last night? Are we rolling off of a winner, or is this a bounce back night?
We're rolling off of a winner. We're 3 of our last 4. Francis, since he returned to Barstool, I think after a week or two, he was one of the very, very early adopters and has taken every one of my NBA bets. And for the season, we're at 63% so far. So he's doing pretty good. He got a Montclair coat. I don't really know coat brands, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a pretty nice coat.
You're saying it to us, like Megan and I know. We're just gonna guess it's really expensive.
Yeah, really nice coat. If it's on Francis, I'm sure it's nice.
If he's bragging about it, yeah, it's probably a pretty nice.
Francis looks like he uses baby's blood to wash.
Now I'm gonna Google it. Now I gotta Google it.
He said it was a couple grand, but yeah, he's just been a consistent whatever.
$2,000 coat, $3,000 coat, used $750. Great.
Yeah, fantastic. So if you've been following Che and trusting the data, he's been filling your wallets, and we can't thank him enough for that. So let's go ahead and start with obviously the biggest game of the year coming up in 10 short days over in Arizona, where Stephen Che will be soon doing some dozen stuff, live yak. Is that what's happening over there?
Yep. Yeah, I'm headed out Sunday evening, and then I'll be there full week. Yak every day, dozen, I think, on Thursday. And then we're doing a live stream from the Barstool Bar in Scottsdale, where you just were, right, Megan?
Yes, was just there. It was fantastic. The bar was awesome. GM that was there took great care of us. Yeah, I had a great time. I mean, besides the Bengals losing, so didn't get.
I was gonna say, Megan, it sounds like you had a great time. You have no voice left.
Well, the voice actually is from being sick the last 2 days, which I will contribute to either the airport or the people that were handing me shots. It wasn't because of the shots. It was just
yes,
on the shot.
You got the Phoenix flu. I got it.
I already had put all my bets in that day, so I gambled responsibly, then drank responsibly until a certain hour. But we won't go there. But I want to know what y'all's thoughts are on this game. We got the Chiefs right now plus 1.5. I kind of know where Steven's going here. He's been bird ganging it here recently. And Kelly, I want to know, As a sharp, as a person that has been probably gambling here the longest and probably knows, I mean, obviously, Steven down here, nerd boy, is going to type in his computer and find all this shit. But you, as the gambling, the gambling girl, the gambling goddess, do you wait to play this game? Have you already played it? Are you playing a total? Are we just kind of settled until the day of?
There's some comments last night. I do another show on Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, and there were some mean comments that said, Kelly, there's no way you're not betting the Super Bowl, so pump the brakes. I said that at this point in time, I really don't have a lot of interest in the side or the total. So I'm going to revert back to guys like Stephen Che, our girl Ariel, people that focus on props because you want to have action throughout the game. Now, and the reason why I say that, and that is full disclosure, is that we know how tight the NFL can be. We also know that there are some certain times where you want to bet on teams and you want to bet on defenses and things like that. I'm going to be honest with you. I bet if I looked at my Super Bowl record over the last 15 years, it's probably like 7-8 or 8-7. It's not anything great as far as the side or the total goes. I bet on the last time I made a sizable bet where I would say like 3 or 4 units in the Super Bowl, because remember, it is a standalone game. I'm not going ham or hard in the paint because it's just a 1-game sample size. Was Stephen Che's Tampa Bay Bucks. And that was because of that defense. And I said the Chiefs are going to get destroyed. And that is exactly what happened. I got 3.5. Now, I don't think that I'm going to sit here and bash either team, but I'm going to give you some talking points, if you will. The Chiefs defense is a legitimate concern against that Eagles offensive line. Bottom line, that is my big question mark. Coupled with some Chiefs receivers, we know they had a couple more guys go down in that game against the Bengals. Maybe if that late hit on Patrick Mahomes out of bounds doesn't happen, maybe we see a different outcome in the Super Bowl matchup. That being said.
Also, by the way, there were some atrocious fucking flags. I'm sorry. Like the laundry on the field.
Did you miss the first game? Because as a Niners backer, I feel like I could have said about the same thing. There was 2 ref gifted
the block in the back.
Touchdowns. There was holding on so many calls on Sunday, just both games, period. Obviously, we know the end result of the Philadelphia game, but I will say this. I have not been impressed by Philadelphia outside of the 2 Giants games that I watched all season long. I haven't seen them face an elite defense, and the Chiefs are definitely not elite. I will, however, say Jalen Hurts deserves a little bit more credit. He has some Patrick Mahomes-esque type moments. This total opened 50.5. It went down to 49.5. Now it's back to 50.5. I don't have a big opinion there. I made the game 51. So why would I get involved? And that's just full disclosure. I'm going to sit back and wait, Megan. The long answer short. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to wait. I need to make sure Travis Kelce's good. I need to make sure Jalen Hurts is good. I need to make sure Patrick Mahomes is good. There's 3 or 4 receivers, a couple of defensive players. There's a lot of time here. I don't think we're in any big rush. I think we've seen the settling, right? Chiefs opened a 1-point favorite, got bet all the way up to 2. Now we've seen it back to 1.5, 1 in some spots. I'm just taking a break here. Chris Castellani in the comment section. Thank you, Chris, paint salesman, because poor Brock Purdy. I wonder where he's going to go now. He's going to be out for 6 months. Kyle Shanahan, not that impressed with him. The Andy Reid Bowl. Nick Sirianni, Megan, I tagged you in this on Twitter. There's another talking point. Nick Sirianni was the wide receivers coach when Andy Reid took over in Kansas City, and he said, sorry, son, we don't need you. Maybe there's a bone to pick there. Lots of narratives. Bottom line, there is going to be so many prop bets. Barstool Sportsbook's going to have like sheets like this thick. It's going to be like a phone book. It's going to be awesome. And that's where that guy comes in. Don't say
anything to Steven. He might pop a boner. Apparently there's like.
I just popped a boner. I don't know. I mean, like, it's exciting. There is so many fun bets. And it's almost impossible for, yes, they're going to get bet up. Some of the sharper numbers are going to be bet because those sharp groups are going to sit there with a fine-tooth comb going through them. But there's going to be some fun things to root for. We all know I'm a total I can't use that word. I got to find another word, but I can't use that word on the show because Jack will get mad at me. But I'm a total like fun-loving bettor at times. I know we talk about bankroll and stuff, but Megan, who doesn't want to go throw a couple $100 on the coin flip? That is fun for me. Like right out of the gate, win or lose.
We do have it at Barstool Sports, on the Barstool Sportsbook this year. I don't
of course
think
we do.
Last year, so thank you.
That's where those kind of fun bets come into play. Che's going to come in with some sharp bets for me to be, it'll keep me sober during the Super Bowl, right? I'm hosting a party. and being able to follow along will keep me from what happened last year when I had the Bengals and had entirely too many cocktails after that Super Bowl halftime performance. I'm done talking. I had too much caffeine today.
No worries. Stephen Che, as I said, I felt like from what I've heard, your data driven is towards the Eagles. Are you Bird Gang or bust, or did I hear that wrong?
Yep. Yeah. Bird gang for this game. Defense wins championships. They can get pressure with 4. They can also run the ball, which is a staple of championship winning teams. I don't see Kansas City outside of a stellar performance from Patrick Mahomes, which is certainly not out of the question. But the Eagles have a very good defense. The Chiefs are banged up at receiver. I know Travis Kelce is, one of the ultimate weapons in the game. But I just think the Eagles have a team that's ready to win the Super Bowl. I don't know that Kansas City has all the parts. And also, what is it? So I got into the control booth. I had friends in town actually today, so I got lunch with them. So I wasn't able to sit in and pick Central. But I heard you guys were talking about my boners. This was something. This was in high school. I would get freaking boners.
I know. I didn't bring it up. No, I didn't. It wasn't me. It was Marty. Marty's like, Stephen Che is the horniest guy I know.
I mean, that's just it's a good sign of like good test levels, right? Like that means your testosterone's working. That means you're getting good sleep. You're eating right.
It means I'm just really excited for school. That's all. Just nerd.
You're
16 years old.
Okay, well,
hello. They have a one-track mind at 16.
On that third note, give me your props, Che. For right now, I know there's probably quite a few out that you're still salivating over, but let's get to the ones that are already on the Che's list, Che's checklist, if you will.
Sure. So I'm still finalizing a bunch, but a couple I like. I like Jalen Hurts over 1.5 passing touchdowns. The Chiefs gave up the most passing touchdowns in the league. In their first 2 playoff games, though, they did only give up 1 passing touchdown to each quarterback. But that's what I'm looking at. I'm expecting a big day out of Miles Sanders. Right now, he's 25-1 to win MVP. I am never going to bet, the MVP to be the quarterback. It's going to be pretty much almost even money. Jalen Hurts right now is plus 125. That's not really where I want to be. I do really like long shot MVP, so I did bet up, almost every member of the secondary. If you can get 2 interceptions, you're pretty much guaranteed an MVP. So there's a shot there. But Miles Sanders is a guy that I bet on pretty heavy MVP to start at 30-1. So far this playoffs, Jalen Hurts hasn't been overly impressive, but the Eagles have been very impressive running the football. If they can follow a similar formula in this game, I wouldn't be shocked if Miles Sanders is, at least in contention for MVP. And at 30-1, it's not 25-1. That's pretty good value.
Speaking of Miles Sanders and Arizona, since you'll be in both, so maybe you'll get lucky. But Jeff D'Lo, of course, our wonderful Sabrina was giving out some bonus cash. She gave us all some bonus cash. Jeff D'Lo responsibly threw anytime touchdown, or was it first touchdown? I think it might have been first touchdown, Miles Sanders. And yeah, he made it quick. It was first touchdown. It was like plus 750. So yeah, that was a fan. We were all excited because he said it first, and then everyone else started talking, and we decided on a team bet on somebody else. And of course, Jeff D'Lo's sitting there with the winning ticket and the biggest smile in the building.
And State guy, of course.
Of course. So, all right, Che, what else we got?
That's what I'm looking at right now. We will sharpen some things up as we get a little bit closer. I will say the disgusting prop that I gave out last week hit. It was Miles Sanders. When I saw it was under 7.5. It got adjusted down to 4.5. He had 1 catch for 3 yards. So maybe I'll come back next week with a gem similar to that. That's going to be a full game sweat. But I'm looking, I think I'm going to bet pretty heavy on Dallas Goedert. Especially to score a touchdown. I think he's 13-1 to score the first touchdown. The Chiefs are vulnerable against tight ends. I mean, against the pass, they're vulnerable across the board, but they struggle against receivers and tight ends. I think they're like bottom 5 or bottom 6 in the league, giving up touchdowns to tight ends. They've given up 4 and 5 catches to their 2 tight ends in this playoffs. So I'm going to be looking at catches for him, probably over 3.5, and then probably to score a touchdown, which is plus 188.
Oh, that's fantastic. On that note, let's segue over to your trusted data parlay for the night and go into the NBA, because I'm not sure if Kelly has a play, but I sure as shit know that Stephen Che has a play. And
Sure.
I did play. I already put in your first basket prop for the night, so I would love for you to tell the people what that is, and then also, of course, what else you have on your plate.
Sure. So I haven't finalized my single play yet. That will probably be in the next 2 hours, awaiting some injury news. But so something that I'm really excited about, I live streamed one the other day, is first baskets. And I have a full database built out so I can see every team's percentage of tips won, which I think is very important, because if you can get who's going to win the tip, you have the best shot to see who's going to be first basket. I also have in this database, it includes who takes the first shot, which I think is really important. I don't want to just play the results and who made the first shot. I want to see who took it. And there's 2 very big tip disparities tonight. So in the 7 o'clock game, there is the Lakers and the Pacers. The Lakers have won the tip 67.3% of the time this year. The Pacers are one of the bottom teams at just 37.25%. So we're looking at about a 30% tip disparity. So it looks like the Lakers are going to win the tip. So if we look at who's been taking the first shot for the Lakers, LeBron's obviously pretty heavy in there. But a surprising name in the last 17 games, this guy has taken the first shot 7 times. He is plus 1,700. It is our coworker, Pat Bev.
Let's go, Pat Bev. Everyone in the comments.
Beverly is going to be my bet today for first basket for Lakers Pacers. Bet very responsibly on these. These bets are over in 2 minutes, but they're long shots and meant to be treated that way. I just want to, Jake Koopman, just the tip. That's actually very, it's included.
Oh, no.
Is
that what we're going to change the prop name to? Just the tip.
Well, we need them to score the first basket too, but the tip data is going to be very, very strong, and I'm only going to give out picks. I'm not going to do this every day like my other props.
Tip and stroke.
Oh, not bad.
Megan.
The other game that has a big tip disparity is
again.
It's a late game. It is Milwaukee against the Clippers. Milwaukee wins the tip about 70.5% of the time, with Brooke Lopez taking the tip. And then the Clippers are about 48.1%. So we're looking at about a 22% tip disparity there. I gave this one out on Pick Central last night, or a couple days ago. It did not hit. But Pat Connaughton, he did take the first shot. He missed a layup.
You did say that. What an awful way to lose that bet. A missed layup in the NBA, you should just have to go run like 45 laps.
It is. They threw him an alley-oop, actually, and he just had a kind of a rough catch and didn't get to finish. But he's plus 700. So if you want to get risky and throw $5 down on it, if you want to throw $5 down on that parlay, if it hits, you get $715. There's strong tip data behind both of these. I will be parlaying those, and I will be playing both straight. Again, just a couple bucks. These are mega long shots, but the value is there. We have a very good feeling that both of these teams, Milwaukee and the Lakers, will at least get the first shot at the basket, and those are 2 guys that have value on both of those teams.
And if y'all missed anything that Chase said, he's definitely going to be tweeting this out on his own account and Trust the Data, correct? Or
this will actually just be Trust the Data.
Just the Trust the Data account. The other one is his personal account where he only talks about personal things. All right. Is that all the NBA we got for the day, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, Kelly, you didn't say anything. Did you decide that if you have a play tonight, anything?
I wasn't trying to be rude. But I bust out laughing when Shay was talking because I had texted my buddy. I said, hey, I haven't really been following that much NBA, just a little bit here and there, in between basketball games when you're flipping back and forth kind of deal. And he's really sharp. And I said, hey, did you happen to play anything tonight doing money shots with Megan? He goes, nothing yet. He goes, I got to be honest with you. I was up all night drinking, smoking, and fucking. But if I come up with anything, I'll let you know. And I just was like, I read that while Jay was talking. I was like, don't just bust. I mean, that's what happens when you're like, I remember being like 25. That was cool. Now I'm like, I need to go to bed. I can't stay up.
So no NBA for you.
I can do 2 of those 3 things, but I can't do all 3 of those anymore.
I can do.
Don't ask me. Not 3 for 3
time. So no NBA.
No NBA from me, but I do actually have 5 college basketball games that I'd love to touch on. Am I going to play all 5? Probably not, but I'm definitely going to probably get to the window with at least 2 of them.
All right, so let's talk about them because I have a lot of small plays today that honestly probably no one really cares to hear about. But I have a feeling you're playing a few of the bigger schools, i.e., guarantee you're like on Wisconsin, probably on Northwestern. Or is it Northeastern that's playing Michigan?
Northwestern. Megan, here, I said this on Jeff Nadeau's show, so apologies if anybody watched over there.
No,
yesterday
this is our show. This is our show. They could watch our show, not Jeff Nadeau's
No, they
show.
can. We've just been taking a little mini hiatus, but that's because I think it's important. And so I stress this a lot. And so I actually double-checked my spreadsheets. I wrote down all my records for this year on the season. And I figured out yesterday before Jeff's show, and then I had Utah State last night. I'm now 8-1 against the spread in the Mountain West. Love the Mountain West Conference, but I've been being really selective about betting certain teams. 12-9 in the SEC, 14-9 in the Big 12, 1-13 in the Big East. 1-13. I knew
the Big East does me so good, except for last night when they did me dirty.
But that's kind of what I mean. So for all of you guys out there doing your own handicap and doing your own stuff, stop trying to, like Megan said, she focuses on some certain conferences. Well, they might not be appealing to you guys, but if she's finding like little diamonds in the rough or teams that are covering first halves, whatever you're going to do to try to find yourself an edge. That's just not for me because I'm over here focusing on the Power 5 schools plus the Mountain West plus the Big East, and it becomes a little overwhelming. So I basically am like, you know what? I'm done with the Big East. That's it. I'm done. So I'm done looking at them. And that's why I didn't give out Xavier last night. And then I also have do not bet against list, Marquette, Alabama, K-State, Providence, and then specifically Nevada at home. Do not bet on list, LSU, Texas, St. John's, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, St. Louis. Now,
LSU men's basketball is also on my do not bet list. I will definitely watch and cry, but I would much rather watch a 21-0 women's coach by Kim Mulkey, most exciting female basketball coach ever. She would fucking kick you in the face, spit on you, and then give you a big old kiss when she's done. Like, I love that woman. She is.
You're hilarious.
All right, so what are you playing, Kelly? What plays fit the system?
So we'll start off as one that just has to be said. So 2 nights ago, I gave out Maryland -3, and that was because they're an unranked home favorite over a top 25 team, right? Maryland played number 21 Indiana. They won by 11. It's now 22-10 on the season. So got another one tonight. I was actually getting ready to check the Barstool Sportsbook because this one did move to.
I have it open. What is it?
Yeah. Is it 1.5 now with UAB?
It is 1.5 now with UAB. It is.
Yeah. So it opened 1. Open now it's 1.5. And that makes sense. I know one of the big question marks is what's the status of Jelly? I'm going to say he's a go based on some of the stuff that I was reading before the show, but obviously always double check that before you place your wagers. But I like UAB -1.5. It is a straight system play outside of Jelly. I cannot name an opponent on either team, and I don't care because this is a blind bet. I also would recommend doing a little bit of math work behind it. Doesn't always mean you have to do it. That's why it has 10 losses on the season. But if it correlates with a few other parts of your handicap, I say go for it. So UAB is the first one.
Well, I didn't play UAB, but I was pretty close. Only reason why is because Detroit Mercy has been so good to me when I have bet on them.
I do recall you betting them a lot.
And they've covered a lot for me, but I didn't, with the chance of Jelly playing and him potentially going off and scoring 34 points, I was a little hesitant on Detroit there covering. So, as I said, I don't have very exciting ones. I do have Marshall -3 at App State. Team's been playing great. They've won 6 out of their last 7. The one loss was in overtime. They are scoring 111.4 points per 100 possessions. So they're making sure to, get themselves to the basket. And they did beat App State earlier in the season by 20. I know it's hard to beat a team twice, but I feel like this Marshall team is that much better than App State. This is going to be a much harder fought game, especially if the App State crowd decides to get a little crazy, because that school, their crowd can get a little wild. However, I still think Marshall's good enough to cover the 3 on the road. Again, these are small schools. No one's probably interested. So I'll give out 2 more real quick. I also like Stony Brook -3.
People are interested in whatever wins, Megan.
JMU money line -125 over Old Dominion. That one I really like tonight again. Kelly, what else you got?
So the only other one that I actually got to the window with, and then I'll rattle off the ones that are on my long list, and then you guys will see on Twitter if I end up playing it, is Northwestern -3. I actually got to looking, and I'm like, what am I missing here? Who is somebody out for Northwestern? Why is this line so short? I made the game 6.5. Now, granted, I have not been high on this Michigan team. We know that they do a couple things right. One, they don't really turn the ball over. But on the road, they actually turn the ball over twice as much almost as they do at home. But they are one of the better teams as far as that goes. But they are so inexperienced. They have almost zero continuity, Megan. They just are not a cohesive unit. And that's what makes them so hard to back. And that's why, I looked at the other night, I took them versus Purdue plus the 5, was happy to get the push because they don't want to finish out what they start. And that frustrates me. But a team that does the exact opposite, yeah, well, that's Northwestern. We've already seen them go toe-to-toe with Illinois. We've already seen them play Iowa. The game was a little bit of an outlier, and that's why I kind of like Ken Palm Plus, is because you can take away certain games that don't really fit what you're trying to work on. This team is just much better at home. They lost to Rutgers at home by 3, and they kind of got beat up by Ohio State, but that was kind of that first conference game, if you will. They came right back, beat Illinois, beat Indiana. I think this squad deserves a lot more credit than they're actually getting. If they could just knock down some threes, I would absolutely love to hammer them at -3. But at this point in time, it's going to be a normal bet for me. But I love this Northwestern team. They're really scrappy. I don't know if it's Juwan Howard, so I'm not going to bag on him, but there's something off. Right? We know Hunter Dickinson's an absolute stud, and he has the ability to take over and basically win games for his team. But I really think that double teaming him here, Northwestern, we know, has a top 25 defense. I think we're going to see that defense be able to really stifle him tonight.
I love that. I won't explain these two, but I'm on Southern Miss plus the 1.5 against Troy. I'm also on Moorhead minus the 4 at home against Tennessee Tech. And then this is my big play to not big units, but big play as in this is the biggest game I have on my card. And that's Houston, Wichita State. I know historically this Wichita program has kept it tight with this Houston team, but this year this team goes out and they just fucking cover, and they cover on the road. And again, shockers might be absolutely crazy tonight. But I think Houston can easily pull away at the end of the game. If anything, I'd bet Wichita maybe first half to hang in there. After that, okay. I think Houston just gas pedals it, in my opinion. Again, 6-0 ATS on the road. You have Wichita 3-8 ATS at home last 10. I just can't get behind that one. Those are mine today. Kelly, you have any more you want to give out before we hop off?
Yeah, I'm not giving out anything specifically, but I'll let you guys know what made my long list, but I don't think I'm going to be getting to the window with would be Washington plus 17.5. You mentioned this before we start the show. They have a lot of question marks there, and without getting those answers prior to tip, and I do get those answers, the line's going to come down. Kind of just one of those games to keep an eye on, maybe in the first half as well. Wisconsin plus 7.5. Something's got to give. Come on. Wisconsin, you guys
in games, so something's got to give.
Something's got to give. Like, eventually we see some regression, right? I cannot back that team right now, unfortunately, but I really, really would like to. It fits a lot of things mathematically. I just don't trust them. And then Oregon plus 12. Sorry, David Blattman. Arizona, man. Come on. I've been betting against this team. It's just not been working out for me. So maybe I need to put them on my do not bet against. But that being said, those are the long lists. But yes, definitely got to the window with UAB and Northwestern today.
All right, Che, are you live?
Yes, of course.
Blink twice. Okay, good. Okay, everyone's alive. Che, you got anything else besides plugging buy a Trust the Data hat and seeing and watching the Yak live in Arizona?
Of course, yeah. Buy a Trust the Data. I'm going out to a dinner tonight, so I'm not wearing a hat because it messes my hair.
What a classy guy.
But yes, please buy a hat. I'm gonna have my daily NBA pick finalized in the next 90 or so minutes. Waiting some injury news.
Don't forget about Pat Bev first basket, guys. Everyone go bet it, and so we can all
Pat Bev first basket. 17-1. Bet very responsibly on those.
Bet responsibly. Kelly, you got anything else you want to throw out there?
I don't. I'm pretty much done for the week. back on Monday. Oh, Saturday Spaces with you and Jeff.
Yeah,
That show's been doing really well. I know it's audio only, you guys, but last week we had almost 700 people in it. The week before, about the same. So excited for Megan to come back and host because she does a much better job than I do. And let's see if we can't stay hot on Saturday. Saturdays have been really, really good to us. So shockingly, I've done a decent job of W Robot. Oh my God.
All right.
But anyway, we'll see you guys on Saturday, and then we'll be back Monday per usual, right, Megan?
Absolutely. Back on Monday to talk probably more about the Super Bowl. So we'll see you guys then.
Cool.